Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back another video from Team 4-Star on the 4-Star Bento channel, continuing with Dragon Ball GTFS, covering episode 15 to 16. We're nearly at the cool stuff with Dr. Mew and Baby and then Android 17 and then the dragons and that. I say the cool stuff, you know, it's the better part of GT, but let's get into this.
It's okay, we're just trapped here without fuel.
I believe, okay, but by the way, I believe I am legally allowed to thirst over Trunks right now.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Yeah.
Boys got trapped.
Wow.
FS. I love this. The train's
We're
so
back.
hard
We are
to
back.
get through.
In fact,
We're back.
with more Dragon Ball GT episodes 15 and 16 this time. Going through two episodes because I feel like there's a fair amount to talk about in the second one, but in the first one just...
Also, this feels like we're transitioning from that last arc into the new arc. Because the first episode that we talked about isn't necessarily filler because I believe there's some character
But
development
it
between...
certainly is a nothing episode.
It feels... Oh,
Han runs away.
Oh no.
Where the fuck does she think she's going? You have
He's got a Death Clock t-shirt. That's so cool.
you have one spaceship.
Metalocalypse, yeah.
That's it. I'm running away to join the circus in space.
The
it may
space
actually be one of the
circus.
worst episodes of the show.
Oh my god. Look at them with the glasses.
For me, in terms of what it tries to do and fails to do, and what it barely does at all.
Yeah, what the episode wants to do is it wants like them to feel like Pan is a part of the group. Like that appears to be the message they want by the end of it, where it's like they feel like Pan is a constant nuisance who's like getting in the way and just like not contributing, and they're about to go up against a much more dangerous threat.
Well, like, and the opening bit isn't even necessarily saying that they think she's a nuisance. What they say is, hey, things are starting to get more dangerous, and it looks like maybe, you know, beforehand we thought it was just, oh, go from planet to planet, find Dragon Balls. Now we've got this Mew guy.
Yeah, this Dr. Mew. Who is
Dr. Mew.
who is, you know, the creator of Lewd, which was dangerous.
Très dangerous.
For reasons. It you know, it had the ability to blow up mountains and stuff. You know, it's spooky, it's scary. And while Pan was kind of pivotal in actually defeating it, because Goku lacks rhythm for some reason, they say, like, you know, maybe we should go back and grab, you know, Goten.
You know what? I think I know the difference. They were ready to deal with monsters, but they weren't ready to deal with Doltaki.
Oh, no, they were not ready for that.
Yeah,
Nobody was ready for Doltaki.
That's why they want to send Pan home, because it's like, no, if we're going to run into more motherfuckers like Doltaki, we cannot have a little girl here.
We can't
need
have
to
that.
send her home.
Goku
can punch a dude through his dick. He's going to be
You're not wrong.
fine. Doltaki,
Yeah, like... So we're dealing with that, and essentially Pan overhears them because they're talking
loudly in a room that is barely connected to the other with an open door.
Yeah, within earshot, within immediate earshot, they're like, yeah, you know what, maybe we should switch her out. What? You can't say that. You were listening?
You could hear us in this really tiny, tiny cramped spaceship.
Oh no, she could hear us in this enclosed space while we're talking very loudly with the door open. I don't give a fuck.
Do what you want, Bill.
Okay, I really hate how detached Goku has been in these last couple of episodes. Like, he just seems like he's not a character at all. He's a
Nice, so casual and nonchalant about everything.
function.
I'm here to solve problems and cause problems. Call me the plot. So she decides to run away to prove them wrong.
On a desert planet, by the way. Like, this isn't even the fucking money planet.
Yeah, this isn't even a habitated planet except for, like, I guess these antlion worms.
Yeah, and apparently there's, like, an oasis that they find.
A single oasis.
But yeah, no,
strong
it's...
umbrella for her to not get hurt by any of that whatsoever.
She decides to run away and then immediately regrets. Regret.
5 minutes into running away, she's out of water, and she's like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, no, she's literally gonna die.
Immediately proves their point.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
So, this entire episode serves two purposes. One, to improve the relationship between Pan and Giru, and two, to somehow establish that Pan should be here.
Yeah, she's one of the boys.
Which, by the way, not a question I was really even bothering to ask.
Yeah.
The episode brings up this point, which, hey, you know what? Now that you've brought up this point, it's a valid point. I wonder how this episode is going to make Pan feel like she needs to be a part of this group. Oh, wow, no, it doesn't. It doesn't do that. It completely fails to do that. In fact, what it does is show us that they were absolutely right.
You're right in the fact that, it wasn't a question that needed to be addressed because, again, she was pivotal in defeating the big bad of the last arc. She was part of that plan. She's the one that came up with the plan and figured it out. She solved that. And now all of a sudden it's like, maybe she shouldn't be here. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Dead. She'll be okay.
Pan, where are you? Giru had to save her.
And he does. He beats the shit out of that centipede.
Off screen and finds a Dragon Ball. Off screen.
And finds the Oasis. Off screen!
Giru solved the plot of the episode off screen, and then Trunks shows up and he was like, yeah, it was because of you that Giru did that, so you're one of us.
Oh my god.
You motivated Giru to help you, despite the fact that he is absolutely a beaten wife. Like, he's just in this abusive relationship where Pan is doing nothing but kicking the shit out of him all the time.
But don't worry, she's changed.
She's changed. She's a friend now.
Oh. God, son of a bitch.
Admittedly, the next episode, she's not beating up on Giru as much. So, that at least is somewhat addressed for now.
It seems like they have, in fact, addressed one of the worst characteristics of Pan so far.
While bringing up others.
While making new ones. Because she was not this bad before in terms of, like, again, just running away on a desert planet. To almost immediately die is so dumb. Like, even outside of, like, child logic, okay? Because at this point, I'd like to point out, she is at least 13.
Yeah.
Like, while she should be a little bit emotional, it's true that she should be emotional.
Mm-hmm.
This is much. This is a
I'm
little
gonna
much.
run away and join this, like, okay, imagine the same plot happens, but it's on, like, an inhabited planet, and there's, like, a space circus or something going on with, like, weird characters that she's like, oh, no, I get along with these people. She gets in with this crowd and realizes, no, this isn't the crowd I should be with, but she solves a problem while doing this, gets a Dragon Ball, boom, there's your plot.
Which, by the way, what we just said was incredibly generic. The fact that we were able to just immediately think of a plot that makes more sense is the problem.
The inception of this plot was bad because it's, like, cliched, and the resolution of it is
antithetical to their morals.
Yeah.
It's almost, it feels like parody. It's like, it's so bad.
Pan-chan, ごめん。
Why? Why are you apologizing? You're right.
5点と交代させるなんて言って。
No! The episode has proved you're right.
You need to go get somebody. I mean, if you have Goten, maybe we could have gotten an adult Gotenks.
俺たちはみんな仲間だから。これからもみんなで力を合わせて頑張ろう。
No! I reject this.
This is unearned.
And it's not that I'm trying not to hate Pan. I like to point out that as I've said before, when Pan is good, she's my favorite character in the show. When she's bad, she's my least favorite character in the show. And that's a problem.
It's just so sad to see the Pan at the end of Z and the Pan that we have been shown more recently in, like, Dragon Ball Superhero. And then going to this, it feels like such... Granted, the Dragon Ball Superhero Pan has, like, years of, people that actually love Dragon Ball wanting to work on this and make an amazing character out of her, compared to this where they literally just kind of slotted her in.
I like how you're that implication is that the people who wrote for GT,
it feels like they're cashing a paycheck.
Honestly, a lot. It feels a lot like they did not care. And I hate to say that because one of the things that I do not like to say about writers and creators of anything that I enjoy is that, oh, they just didn't care. But I don't know how to describe what I'm watching because it feels so haphazardly put together. Like, this entire episode feels like what was the direction? Because again, we talked a little bit about this during the episodes. This is that we're now at the transitory period where
transition between one arc and another.
Yeah, between no, but I mean specifically because originally they were going for this feeling of Dragon Ball. This is a return to Dragon Ball with some stuff from Z, like
the whimsy, the magic, the adventure.
Yeah. And it feels like we are now making that transition away from that. Now it feels like we're squarely in the middle of the adventure stuff with the Z battle stuff. What with the second episode?
Yeah. I can't believe this is half the episode.
Wow, that was. Oh, God.
First, we had Lude. No. First, we had the Dompara brothers, right?
Yeah, this is at the beginning of the Lude stuff, right?
We had the Dompara brothers.
Yeah.
But then we have the Whip dude, the guy who uses the whip.
Yeah, and then the whip turns into a thing.
But then
we had the whip.
Yeah, but then we find out that actually, the whip's really in control. But no, actually, it's Doltaki who's actually in charge. Oh no, wait, it's
Dr.
Mew.
It's as if they just kept making it up as they went along. Yeah.
Who's in charge?
Who gets one scene in this episode, which feels like the only relevant scene in this entire episode, where we're introduced to General Rild, or Rildo.
Oh yeah. So it's freaking Dompara, then Whip Dude, then the Whip, then Doltaki, then Rild, and then Mew.
Mew above them. And, like, Rild only shows up to, like, kill Daltaki, which, thank you. He's done.
yeah.
He's fucking gone.
Yes.
He's like, Daltaki shows up, he's like, don't worry, we'll get this all solved, Dr. Mew. It's like, I'm not Dr. Mew, I've got more chin, die, boom.
It is very interesting, though, because their colors and their general colors and even a bit of their silhouette is so similar. Anyone watching might have immediately thought that was Dr. Mew until he turns around and then we see that he's all chin. He's
got that Lord Slug jaw.
Yeah.
Like, he's boom.
This is the guy where power scalers decide to use to scale GT to stuff, isn't it? Like, because
Pelican Man.
Yeah. And so that was actually, I thought that was actually a clever,
a good reveal. Because
Yeah.
like as soon as he turned around, I was like, I remember that motherfucker.
Yeah. I forgot. In the middle of this episode, this desert episode, that's when we actually get our introduction to Rildo.
And then in the following episode, which actually has substance,
Yes.
Giru starts malfunctioning, and we can get to the beginning part of it later, but I just want to cover the plot part for a sec. Giru starts malfunctioning because they're getting close to the planet where he was built or something like that, where Rildo is.
His home planet.
Yeah, his programming takes over to start to direction them that way so that they can get trapped. But the opening of that episode has some of the best animated shit we've seen in this entire series. And it's a fucking video game.
Yeah, so the opening bit is Pan piloting the ship, fighting against a bunch of enemy ships, which at first was like, oh, this is kind of really cool. That's interesting. They ran into enemy ships. But then I picked up on almost immediately wait, no. First of all, this seems way out of pocket, and it's also just Pan in the sea.
Yeah, if this were real, Goku would be standing outside throwing a Kamehameha.
But something else I noticed, the sky was, space was black.
Yeah, pitch black as opposed to blue.
And you didn't pick up on the fact, and I can understand why you get so used to it that you just think, oh, yeah, that's space. Space is commonly blue in GT. Which, by the way, I don't believe it was.
Oh, wow. What a thing to notice. Parts of Dragon Ball Space are blue and others black. Oh, okay.
It's in Dragon Ball. In fact, I am 99% certain that in regular Dragon Ball, Z specifically, because I don't know if we ever saw Space in original Dragon Ball, space is just black.
I think it's because the blue contrasts really well with the colors of the ship that they have. It does make the ship pop a bit.
I will say, between the two of them, I prefer blue space. I think blue space is actually a neat way, and it's artistic.
I've never thought about this. This is really interesting. Blue space does look cool. Do they do that in the Transformers animated stuff as well? I'm starting to think now. Is space blue in Transformers?
Choice, right? Because obviously space is.
But she's playing this game, which I guess Giru is controlling the enemy AI in the game. She loses, and then she goes into round 2 where they do these really cool kind of artistic animations to it. It's like, whoa, okay, where did this come from? Why have you been hiding it from us?
I will say this segment goes
It goes a little long, but at least it's visually interesting.
Oh yeah, visually, it's off the wall.
I would
It's
rather
nuts.
watch that sequence 3 times in a row than watch the previous episode once.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Like it's not only that, but whereas we were sitting through episode 15 and half of the episode passes and we're like, what the fuck? That was half the episode? Episode 16 felt like 2 episodes in comparison to that, where you got a lot of things going on.
Or like one episode of a regular show.
Yeah. So, just like really good in comparison, because you actually have introduction of like an interesting area. The plot is moving. We're in a much more interesting location. The planet grows metal fruit. There's little Girus everywhere. Wow. And then we get introduced to probably the coolest enemies we've seen so far in this show. The Sigma Boys.
The Mega Cannon Sigma Boys.
The Sigma Boys.
Watch yourselves. There's something different about these guys. They're giving off strange energy patterns.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in.
Yo, I do like this design.
You can call me Goku. What are yours?
Don't that Sigma grind set.
Yeah, that true Sigma male.
I love the editing on these for these guys in Spire. That is so cool.
Sigma ever took off unironically, though.
Those that it did take off unironically with are, where they seem to have an actual kind of unique skill set and power set amongst them.
Although, okay, so one of the things that I want to bring up that you pointed out that I didn't even think about, they can sense these motherfuckers' energy, which, what?
I mean,
because last time I checked,
they can't sense robots.
They can't sense robots. I guess since are these mutants?
They must be like Lude. Maybe they're mutant. Maybe they're biomechanical. I don't know, because they could sense self.
But like here's the thing: the androids were cyborgs too.
True, but I guess their power source wasn't life energy driven. Maybe? I don't know.
You know what? Maybe that actually is it. Maybe it is a life energy. Like maybe they actually have. I don't know. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, no, they
we
don't.
shouldn't care either. I guess.
That's kind of where I landed. Where it's like, look, it's GT, man. They throw logic out the wall. Like nothing. There is nothing sacred here. Just don't worry about it. But we do get these very interesting robots with some very interesting skill sets. The one that can kind of like turn itself into bubbles, which becomes spears. Like I guess he can transmute his body.
He's like a nanomachine type robot.
Yeah. Like he's
he's like what they tried to do with Transform. I thought they were going to Terminator 2. Yeah, I felt like it was more like, when they tried to introduce Galvatron in the 4th Transformers movie, and instead of like doing the transforming thing, it did like the fizzling into stuff to transform, then sizzling back into that. You know what I mean?
Gray ooze, kind of, except less corrosive and more just it can do anything with its shape, like liquid metal stabbing weapons kind of thing.
Yeah. It's actually pretty, honestly...
One of them has, the grabby arms.
Their designs leave something to be desired for me, but at least their power set is actually really interesting.
They remind me of the, do you remember, the Power Ranger ripoffs in Mario RPG, like the little axe troop?
Oh, yeah!
They reminded me a little of that, because they're all color-coordinated, kind of Sentai-esque.
Oh, yeah, and, they probably are very intentionally based off of Tokusatsu, because, Dragon Ball has a long history of pulling from Tokusatsu, which I always found very fun. It's nice to see that Toriyama liked to parody a lot of that stuff. But here, we have the Sigma Boys. They're fine villains. Rild is probably going to be completely characterless and uninteresting, but at least he's got kind of a cool design. I actually genuinely kind of like his design.
We've had a couple of good designs that have led to nowhere. Rildo is actually kind of generic when you compare him to somebody like Reddict or even the Whip Dude, who
I like the Whip Dude's design. I thought it was
kind of cool, but then became nothing.
Oh man, the Whip Dude is the funniest one.
Just ended.
I'll never get over the fact that Trunks literally just kills him with that one shot. That will never not be funny. But yeah, no, Reddict, I will say Reddict was immediately more interesting than I say Rild was, but still, I don't dislike Rild.
There's nothing wrong with the design. Again, he kind of looks like Blue Lord Slug a bit.
But I will say, which I noticed halfway through, this is where the Toonami run actually first started, aka when
Pan was having their flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, this is where Funimation started their initial release, which is, again, still so funny to me that there is an entire generation of people who watch GT who have never seen the first 15 episodes.
They never got to see the desert planet.
I'm pretty sure that they showed them in the UK. I'm pretty sure that... Or maybe the initial start off was from episode 16, and then they only showed so many episodes, and then they would always like go back, so maybe they went back. But I do remember watching the episodes.
I'm almost certain the last episodes did air on Toonami. I could be wrong on that one. Hey, editor, double check on that for me.
Just out of order, right?
Yeah, I'll take the coffee. Yeah, no, I will cut in the middle of this so I can just have my coffee. Oh, did they not give a
You don't
straw?
deserve it.
No, you're not going to eat on camera. I'm bearing what you're doing.
Anyway.
No, but straw. They don't have a straw.
Well, you should have thought about that before I had to field the DoorDash guy.
He's got coffee now.
I've got coffee now. What? I'd like coffee.
I don't blame him. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out where to pick up after that. Because it was your string of thought that you interrupted.
Oh, yeah. No, back to my point. Yeah, no. So it is insane to me that this is where a lot of people remember Dragon Ball GT starting. And it's an insane place to start if I had to be really honest with you.
Yeah, because we're finally getting to the part where I remember some of the characters. Like, I remember Rildo. I don't remember why I remember Rildo, but I remember Rildo.
I mean, partially because if
he's the first character. He's the first bad guy.
He is the first bad guy that a lot of people like who watch Dragon Ball GT, maybe not most, but a lot of in the United States are familiar with. Not to mention, like, for the most part, he is a very powerful villain. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but the stuff that he does, like, after this is pretty significant in terms of...
Yeah, it actually makes them do some Z-level shit from what I recall. So it'll be interesting moving on from where we're at as we move away from the mystical adventure side and more into what was quintessentially like the Z era of Dragon Ball. And we'll see how that affects the show moving forward.
I will say the music has still been so hit or miss.
Oh, amazing. Like, sometimes it's frumpytuba.midi.
Yeah.
And some of some of the art assets in episode 15 were, what was that tornado? That was a preschooler's first scribble.
No.
Like, what was that?
That was the art team, like, basically being told at the last second, hey, we need a tornado, or like, we need a sandstorm.
Like, yeah, we need a dust devil. And
Yeah,
that's
dust
what you
devil.
got. And
Yeah.
oh my God, just some of these things, they wear their price tag on their sleeves, I think.
But hey, what are you going to do? It was 1990s, and, you know, this was just one of the most successful anime franchises of the time. It doesn't, I don't...
Yeah, I'm hopeful moving forward from this point, just to, like, at least in terms of pacing, maybe see some interesting action after they showed off some neat stuff, but I don't know. We'll have to get with that next time.
On GTFS.
FS, yeah.
Sorry, this just was...
Back to the viewing room.
Oh no. Oh, I do like this GTFS series. It's really funny. It's nice to remind myself. So I think that's what happened. I think they did the same thing in the UK, but then when they got to a certain point, because they used to do like the saga, like they did it with Z. They'd like finish Cell Saga and then they'd start it again, or they'd go back to the Namek Saga. So I think what they did was they started at like 16, and then to a certain point, then went back, but did episode 1. So maybe. Anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video, I want to be able to watch patron-only reactions, such as the original Dragon Ball series. Link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I have to support the channel. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? You guys think of that? Click like, subscribe, gallery. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch discuss in future videos. See you guys later, guys. Next time.